So a popular question and a popular thing that people want is to be able to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. So i.e., the question here is, can you build muscle whilst in a calorie deficit? So yes, in theory you can, but it's only applicable to certain situations. So when you're trying to lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit, okay? So you need to be eating less calories than you burn. Like, that's the golden rule. And if you're trying to add muscle, then generally you want to be eating more than you burn, right? So like when you're trying to lose weight, depending on how much weight you've got to lose and what your goals are, maybe your calories are like 200 to 500 lower per day than you burn. Versus if you're trying to add muscle, maybe they're 200 to 500 a day higher than you burn, right? And so that way, we can focus on one specific goal at a time. So we focus on losing fat and building muscle. Now, it's quite common for people to want to do both at the same time. And I don't really like that approach too much because you're trying to do conflicting things, okay? It makes much more sense to focus on one than the other. So typically speaking, what I would have people do is actually lean down first and then slowly try and add muscle while staying lean. A few reasons for this, but we'll go into that in a separate video. But if you want to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, if you've been training for 3, 4, 5, 6 years onwards, it's going to be very difficult for you. If you're new to weight training and like you're not very experienced and you class yourself as a beginner, then you kind of benefit from what we kind of call newbie gains, which make it more possible to do because you're completely new to it and you're just new to the kind of environment and the changes that you're trying to make your body make. It's possible to lose fat and build muscle at the same time. But for most people who have been training for a few years, it's not a good approach to take. You're far better off like tackling one at a time and then just transitioning between periods. It used to be very popular for people to do this thing kind of like a dirty bulk. We're going off at a slight tangent here, but like a dirty bulk where they just eat as much as they can and try and gain as much size as they can. But nowadays what most people do is have like a moderate calorie surplus, i.e. eat a couple of hundred calories more than they burn each day and try and stay fairly lean whilst they build muscle. And then you've not got a lot of fat to lose when you finish your lean bulk. But in terms of like building muscle and losing fat at the same time, probably not a great idea for most people. You're better off focusing one rather than the other. If you're weight training whilst you're trying to lose fat and you're eating enough protein, you should be able to maintain most of your muscle mass anyway. You shouldn't lose too much depending on how much weight you've got to lose, but you should be able to maintain a lot of what you've got and then you can slowly start adding to that afterwards. But as a general rule, I would avoid trying to do both. I'd do one at a time. If you're completely new to it, then you may be able to benefit from losing fat and building muscle at the same time, and it may be possible, but generally speaking, probably not going to happen. What you should try and do though, even while you're like trying to lose fat and you're in a calorie deficit, is continue getting stronger. Like continue getting stronger in the gym, continue moving weights. Don't suddenly change your weight training approach for a load of cardio and stuff. Keep getting stronger, keep trying to push the reps up, increase the weight, keep trying to build muscle. Like you want to maintain as much lean muscle as you can, and maybe, just maybe, you're able to build a little bit whilst you're in a calorie deficit, but don't bank on it. Don't put all your eggs in that basket. Focus on one and then the other is my advice in that situation.